Hey everybody, Miss Silbernagel here. Today we're going to review chapters 13 through 16. All right, chapter 13 was Bouncing Burkway. The journals! Oh no! Over the summer, Mr. Burkway assigned the students to write in journals. You can infer the students didn't know Mr. Burkway was actually going to read them because everyone starts looking really uncomfortable. Mary Lou even says to him, "I don't want you to read them." Ugh, cringy. Mr. Burkway calls Sal a deprived child because she didn't know about the assignments. That's kind of a jab at Sal for not knowing what was going on, but she's new to this school. She had no idea. Sal says for the rest of the day, you could see little groups of people asking each other, "Did you write about me?" And she was very glad she didn't write anything. Ugh, the stress. Chapter 14, The Rhododendron. Mrs. Winterbottom is leaving for the day, and she tells Phoebe to call the police if they heard any noises. So weird. Mrs. Winterbottom is telling Phoebe that, "I'm going out to the store. Call the police." So awkward. Phoebe notices Mrs. Margaret Cadaver doing yard work and says she is as strong as an ox. Mr. Burkway comes to help Miss Cadaver move a rhododendron bush. Mr. Burkway is their teacher. Weird. I thought teachers lived at school. I don't know. All right, so a rhododendron bush is this, it can be a very, very big, very heavy piece of shrubbery that's in your yard. They usually have really pretty either pink or purple flowers, and they bloom every year. But they're really hard to move once they're in the ground. Of course, Phoebe says Mrs. Cadaver has buried her husband in the garden, and the rhododendron there is to help cover up the body. Oh, Phoebe, you gossip. Sal notices her dad acts different in front of Mrs. Margaret Cadaver. He laughs and smiles with her, and Sal hates this. At home, he is sad and looks through photos of her mom. She doesn't like how flirty Dad and Margaret are together. That moment when you see your dad flirting with a neighbor, ugh, yuck. When Miss Winterbottom comes home, she looks like she's been crying. Phoebe doesn't notice, but Sal thinks maybe there were things about her mom that she didn't notice before she left. Sal is worried that Miss Winterbottom feels invisible to her family. Miss Margaret Cadaver tried to give Sal a blue sweater. Sal refuses to take it. Dad tries to tell Sal yet again about who Margaret is, but she doesn't want to hear it. Chapter 15, A Snake Has a Snack. Remember how Sal says she left something back in Bybanks, Kentucky in the floorboards of her room? Well, we finally know what she has left behind. A box of hair. Ugh. Okay, halfway kidding. Sal's mom cut her hair really short before she left, so Sal has a small lock of her hair. She also has the postcards that her mom was sending home while she was on her way to Lewiston, Idaho. Postcards are just little letters that you send home to show where you have been. And usually they have pictures of the state or of the city that you're visiting. Back to the road trip with Graham and Gramps. They pull over to a lake and want to go swimming. A 16-year-old boy shows up and says they are on his private property. He has a knife and is trying to intimidate them. Sal throws a rock into the knot of a tree to distract the boy. Grams gets bit by a water moccasin snake, which is extremely poisonous. The boy helps by trying to get the venom out of Graham's leg. He does this by literally putting his mouth on her leg and trying to suck the venom out so that way it doesn't get in Graham's bloodstream. They rush to the hospital and the boy goes with them. Sal offered him $50 for the help, but he doesn't take it. He also admits that the property they were swimming on wasn't his and that he really likes Sal's hair. Grams is really struggling in the hospital. She can only say the word piddles. Gramps says, "This ain't our marriage bed, but it will do." He's saying as long as he's with Grams, he is okay. Chapter 16, The Singing Tree. Graham gets out of the hospital, but Gramps wants her to stay there longer. He calls her a cantankerous woman, which means ornery or stubborn. They decide not to call Sal's dad because he would want them to come home if he knew about the snake. We find out that boy who was with them, his name is Tom Fleet, and Sal is going to write him postcards later. Sal remembers the day after learning her mom wasn't coming home. She says, "I pleaded to go along, but my father said he didn't think I should go through that." Go through what? What is happening with Sal's mom? So back on the car trip, she's saying to herself, as we swept across South Dakota towards the Badlands, the whispers no longer said, "Hurry, hurry," or "Rush, rush." They now said, "Slow down, slow down." So we've talked about how this "hurry, hurry," or "rush, rush" is the wind in Sal's ear. It's really her anxiety. It's really her frustration. So now she's starting to hear "slow down, slow down." So maybe Sal knows the reality of whatever happened to her mom is about to hit her pretty hard. So keep those points in mind when we're going over these chapters. See you in the Google Meet today. If you need absolutely anything, just let me know.